This is the SC International Inspector EXP Plus. This unit is equipped currently with an additional add-on called an Extreme Boot. If removed, you end up with a smaller plastic box around which this rubber has been added for protection. The back has an opening on it where the regular inspector, which is otherwise the same size, keeps its Geiger tube. The difference between the Inspector EXP and the regular inspector is the EXP has this external probe, which allows you to move the detector around. The Inspector EXP Plus, as well as the regular inspector, both have the same basic specs. So as I cover one, I'm effectively covering the other one. The SC International Inspector, which we will call the Inspector for brevity, has a set of two 3-position switches. The first 3-position switch is the off or on switch. It is a power switch. The first position is off. The second position is on, but with no sound. The light indicates that radiation has been detected in an actual individual ionization event. And then audio, which allows us to hear whenever we are near a radioactive source. We'll place it to the mute button for now. In the top there are 3 more settings. The first is timer. When in timer mode, the unit automatically accumulates all ionization events that it detects. The beeper sound you just heard was the unit telling us that it had reached statistical accuracy, which takes about 30 seconds. In timer mode, there is a 3-position switch up here at the top. Off, which tells it to just accumulate as it's doing until you're done. Set, which when turned on, presents us time. With the plus and minus arrows and the set button in the middle, we can actually tell the unit just how long we want to set for our test. It can go up to 40 hours. Once it hits 2 hours, it goes in hour increments. Once it goes below 2 hours, it's in 10-minute increments until it hits 10 minutes, in which case it goes into minute increments. We set it for 2 minutes, and then we press the on button. Now the unit will count for 2 minutes with the audible beep when it's done. If we cut this off, we can then switch back to the next unit, which is counts per minute, or counts per second if you have it set to Le Système International, the SI unit. The top setting is milliroentgens per hour or microsieverts per hour. To switch between these, you shut the unit off. Now while holding the plus key, you cut the unit on until you see menu. Using the plus and minus arrows, you select 2. There's a total of, I believe, 10 settings. Let's see. 10 possible buttons you can select, but the one we need to worry about is 2. For the others, you should consult your manual. Press the set key. Now you'll see counts per minute or milliroentgens per hour, or counts per second or microsieverts per hour. Press the set button. The system will restart itself, and now it is in microsieverts per hour and counts per minute. Okay. The unit features a rugged plastic shell to which the extreme boot has been placed around. This is a rubber protector. As you see, the rubber protector comes off to reveal underneath it just the unit by itself. Let's put that back on. It is somewhat impact resistant, but then again, you should try not to drop it if you can. There is a unscrewable cable here, which I will leave on for obvious reasons, with about 3 feet of wire, at the end of which, let me put this down, at the end of which is this probe. probe has a plastic cap over the front which may be removed to show us an LND 7317 Pancake Geiger-Muller tube. Mine, of course, has been calibrated. Always calibrate your unit. This probe is significantly more sensitive than many of the smaller units which use the LND 712. This is the larger LND 7317. It has a sensitivity of 3,500 counts per minute per milliroentgen per hour, which of course is calibrated to cesium-137 gamma only. The entire unit retails for various prices depending on who's reselling it or the manufacturer, but a common price for the unit is about $750. The inspector, this is the same as this unit but with this tube built into the back, retails for about $550. The unit is sensitive to alpha, beta, gamma, and X-ray through the probe. It has an anti-jamming feature built into it, meaning that even if the unit is exposed to radiation field tremendously beyond its full scale, it will hold full scale without dropping to zero. This is also called anti-saturation. It is supposed to have a 650-hour battery life in a 1 milliroentgen field. I find that a normal background of approximately 38 counts per minute where I am, that I get about 3 months of battery life out of this unit. Its actual ranges are 0.001 to 100 milliroentgen per hour, 0.01 to 1000 microsieverts per hour, 0 to 350,000 counts per minute, or 0 to 5,000 counts per second. Let's test this unit now and see just how effective it is at detecting various radioactive isotopes. As you can see, I have some samples before me. First, let's test some natural uranium. We get about 4,200 counts per minute off of this sample. Now let us test a sample of cesium-137. I keep my source within this little plastic bottle cap, and of course inside of a lead pig, because the bottle cap allows me to more easily hold the source. It's actually a useful tool if you happen to have a small disc source. We'll cut the sound off for the sake of our ears. We measure 62,000 plus or minus counts per minute. If we flip the source around backwards, we're able to block most of the betas. And so what we're reading now is approximately an accurate energy reading and dose, because this unit is actually calibrated for cesium-137. And now, let us test some strontium-90. Strontium-90. We'll cut the sound off again. Give the unit a moment to catch up. And we are at 155,000, 158, 152, somewhere in the 150 to 160,000 counts per minute range. Now let us test some polonium-210. As you can see, we get about 4,200, 4,300 counts per minute. Now, can we detect Grandpa's old compass? Judging by my background as the unit calms down, you can see I'm getting 40 to 50 counts per minute. Obviously, the compass shows up. This is an important feature, to be able to find things that are not very radioactive or that don't lend themselves to being detected easily. DSC International Inspector EXP Plus.